Hi there, I am Angelo and I will present to you our research using the Rubber Code to teach research methods empirical approach from Angelo Jesus e Mark Silveira. Our work is about how to motivate computer science students to learn research methods. The research methods discipline could be usually disconnect of the main content of the computer science course. So, how to associate these field concepts with the students' daily routine? How connect the computer science with the scientific methodology field at the undergraduate course? And so we ask how the RoboCode game could help to do this. The RoboCode game is a programming digital game. The goal is to develop a robot battle tank to fight against other tanks. And the robot could be developed in Java or C# programming languages. So the students could design algorithm for the robots, and the algorithm command the robot. And so we have the game allow to robot battles in real time, and the students could see can see the battles on the screen. Here we have the RoboCode logo, and here we have a screenshot of the RoboCode game. It shows a battle of robots. And here we have some related works. So the works, the reference are at the end of this presentation. The list of authors are at the end of the presentation. And so we have some of these related works, like the author of two. They have proposed a problem-based learning (PBL) approach with RoboCode in order to teach computer science concepts in an undergraduate course. So the author of three have teach programming for information system in the undergraduate students with RoboCode, and the authors of four use RoboCode in order to teach artificial intelligence. And so the author number 5 also use PBL in scientific competitions with RoboCode. And what about our approach? So the proposed approach have a class schedule. So the schedule is composed by 4 steps. The first step is knowing the RoboCode. So the students learn how to use the RoboCode, how to create the first robot, how to program in the first robot, and so they start to use the environment and the API to programming the robot. So secondly, we have the battle of robots. We performed a battle between the students groups, only to have fun. The two students have fun with the game environment. So the step number 3 is about describing algorithms. So students were required to design strategies, and so they were required to describe these strategies through algorithms. And at the end, the students were requested to taking measures about the battles. The students were required to write a research paper as a final project, and this to write this research paper, this report, they should follow some steps. First, they were required to understand the problem to be solved. The problem is to design a robot with a higher accuracy. And the second step, students study different strategies to solve the problem. So when they understand the problem, they were required to understand and how to solve this problem. The next step is about implement the virtual robot algorithm. So they think about the strategy, and so they draw the strategy and they implement the strategy in algorithm, in a robot algorithms. So the next steps, they conduct empirical experiments that we'll talk about it later. And at the end, they need to draw conclusions about the experiments that were carried. The experiments are the core. The experiments were the most important step of the approach. I'm talking about the student experiments with the robocode. And so because the research method are related to conduct experiments. That's why this is so important. And how students were required, how students could conduct experiments. So they were required to perform 4 combat rounds, and for each round they were required to measure some variables. And the variables are TS, total number of shots fired by the robot; SH, number of shots that actually hit an opponent; accuracy, given by the equation 1. So the accuracy is the shots that have hit enemies divided by total shot spared by the robot. And so we have the T, total time that lasted the round, and TS, shots per second, given by the equation 2. The shots per second is the total shots divided by the total time that the round have taken. And so we have TU, total utilization, given by the equation 3. That is the accuracy times the DS, that is the shots per second. And so, at the end of experiments, the students were required to draw a table comparing each data from each round and robot. So here, at the top of the table, we have the robots that have been fighting at the arena. And so at the left, we have the rounds. Each line represents a round. And also at the top, we have at each column we have the variables that were collected, like the accuracy, the shots per second, and the total utilization for each robot. So at the end, the students should calculate, were required to calculate the mean of all the rounds of all the 4 rounds that they have performed. So we applied a little survey. Students could rate the motivation learning computer science subjects through robocode on a scale from 1, very little, to 5, very much. So and as we can see at the graph, most students give good feedback. So some students, or most of students, should be excited about the approach, the proposed approach. The method may be promising to motivate students to learn research methods, but we know this is a work in progress. So an experiment with 2 control groups should be performed in order to collect more data about our approach, and in order to draw better conclusions about our method. So here we have some reference, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.